especially with like a lot of like MLS culture, it's very different from like a European
Oh, hell
standpoint where
yeah.
like you can't get I know for a fact you can't get a Liverpool fan and a Man United fan to even be on the same Zoom call. Like can't happen. But like Dre and I have already had the opportunities of talking to like like our hated rival. Like our future episodes, we have someone within the NYCFC community, like I don't know if you guys have ever seen the guy who literally sings NYCFC songs. Like he actually creates his own NYCFC songs. He's got like 5,000 followers on his like social media
Thank God,
pages.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen
funny,
him.
but it's fun. He's hysterical. Like I get it, he's a City fan, but he's absolutely hysterical. And it's like I got to get him on. And he like I reached out to him, shot my shit, and he's just like, "Oh, you're a Red Bull fan?" I go, "Actually, we all are." He goes, "Why the fuck do you want to interview me?" I was like, "Because why not?" Like,
Content, bro.
dude, I for the years I've been a Red Bull fan. Oh, we don't like Philly. We don't like Philly. We don't like Philly. Half of our listeners are Philly fans, and the Philadelphia sports culture is absolutely wonderful. And I am so glad we know the people we know now, the people we've interviewed, and the people we've had the ability of having conversations with. Like, the Philadelphia sports community is wonderful, and they're not bad people. But because they're our rival, not rival, oh, we have to hate them. Get out of here. I love shooting the shit with people of opposite team views because it gives you the opportunity of having a conversation.
What's going on, Benchwarmers? We're joined today by two very distinguished and special guests. But before I get to that, I am joined in the technical booth by Marco Cruz.
The interrupter, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to interrupt me, but
I want to be nice today. I haven't been on a podcast with you in a minute, so.
And now he did. He's been on with Eric for the most part in the studio. I'm doing my shift here, staying at home, staying safe during these COVID times. But I do want to introduce the two distinguished guests that we have from our fellow podcast mates over at Posts and Pints. We have Matt and Dre. Thank you guys for joining us. I want to get really quickly to some intro points about you guys. And the first one's for Dre. Why Dre?
So that is, hey, what's up, guys? Glad to be on the show, by the way. Thanks for having me on. I think it's my third time on here now. I love it. So yeah, Dre, my best friend's name is also Andrew. So there was Andrew, and then there was Andrew, and then every time someone said, "Hey, Andrew," both of us would turn around. Someone would say Andrew, we'd both look over. So we had to come up with a system because like this isn't working. So my one buddy, we went by his last name and just shortened it. So we called him Luco. And then for me, ended up being Dre. So that's just kind of the system we came up with.
Nobody want to call you by your last name? That's crazy. Maybe because they can't pronounce it. I still have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
And I see it consistently.
So what is the correct way to pronounce your last name, Dre?
Colson.
Colson. What's cool about that?
I mean, I have problems, bro.
Maybe he just doesn't like you that much. All right, so Matt, you're here. You are very much one of the voices for Posts and Pints. I do know that in the beginning, you guys are a group of 5. I don't want to spill too much of the details because obviously the reason why you guys are here is so you can talk about your operation. But you're 5 pretty cool, laid back, chill dudes, all ragging on each other. For the most part, people might hear Justin, or at least I know a lot of the episodes started with Justin, and now recently you've kind of been the outspoken 2-time speed playback voice for the podcast. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Why just Matt?
Why just Matt? Because God, Dre, why just Matt?
It's kind of funny because we say my name's Dre because there's 2 Andrews. There's like 4 Matts out of like the group of friends we have, and they all just go like it's Matt, Matthew, and then the other one's Columbus. That doesn't count. But yeah, there's a lot. There's more Matts than there are Andrews, but yet I'm the one who gets a nickname.
No, I mean, honestly, I would just say it's just Matt because we call at least the other really close friend of ours, we just call him by his last name, and like we'll just say Roth. His last name is Roth, so we'll just be like, hey, Roth. I guess maybe because I've been in the group a little bit longer, maybe my name gets to stick, but
Get seniority.
It's also because he never talks and I don't shut up. So maybe it's because I'm just the one talking the most.
That's great. You guys, so like I mentioned before, you guys are have 5 members. I want you to maybe start with that. I don't know if maybe Matt would like to take point on this. So tell us a little bit more about the 5 guys that make up Posts and Pints.
So you're breaking my heart and you're making me cry because we recently actually just became a 4-piece not too long ago. That's when I started taking over the reins of kind of like leading the pod. And our old host, Justin, has recently moved away from us. But as well, he's trying to start a new career that's involving him not only working his crazy amount of hours he does for his job, but he's also going to school full time. And he'd just like to take that a little bit more seriously. He is definitely going to be coming on future episodes. He wants to come on. He still watches MLS just as much as he did before. And he's still in our group chats. We're still really cool with him. There's no bad beef whatsoever. But we do have a 4-piece. It's myself, and I still call him Andrew if he's by himself. But if we're in a large group, it's Dre. And then we also have Kyle and we have Alex. And it's basically been us since day one. And we've also been the same guys who have been going to bars, drinking beer, watching soccer, and enough times people have just been like, hey, you guys make up some really good points. You guys should do something about that.
I didn't want to, rub any heartstrings or bring up any bad memories, but I'm glad that it didn't end up like Di Maria from United or Sanchez from Arsenal, where you guys are calling each other snakes. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you right now, every time Angel Di Maria is crying after a PSG loss, an angel gets his wings.
Chill. Not Di Maria.
Yes, not on the pod, Marco. We'll take this off recording.
So I did know that you guys had recently became a 4-piece. I like that. Makes it sound like you guys are like a chicken nugget special. Like you guys are supposed to come together. But the thing is, the origins, and that's one of the things that I want to lead into. The origins where you guys were a 5-member boy band, and in those beginnings, I'm pretty sure you guys probably had some time to come up with what are we going to call ourselves. People are telling us that we have like some pretty good takes, and we have some pretty good synergy together. I'm not sure if maybe Dre has a little bit on this, but you guys can both contribute. Why Posts and Pints? Where did the Post is? I think I can give a guess to, but Pints is also another thing that you guys are very big on, and hopefully you'll lead into that. So, what do you guys have to say?
I'll start off on this one, then pass it over to Matt in a minute. So my earliest recollection is we're sitting at a bar somewhere in Edison, and Matt's like, hey, I'm bringing Justin over. I want to talk to you guys. I'm like, all right, cool. So we're sitting there drinking, and he's like, so we talk soccer all the time. Dre, you have your podcast. Cheap plug. I have a podcast called Welcome to the Bundesliga. He's like, Dre, you have your show. And then let's just get, a group of us together and we talk soccer all the time. We watch MLS all the time. But let's just, do this on air and start releasing some content. So started talking to us. I believe that day at the bar, like him and Justin started going through their phones, going through social media. Hey, what name's taken? Is this taken? Is this taken? Is this taken? And then kind of started just rattling off some names back and forth. Ended up with Posts and Pints because it was available on all social media. And it kind of just really does describe us. We're all about the drinking, all about having beers. We talk about it on every episode. And, the post is the goal post, the soccer net, as you call it. And, each of us have skills that we bring to the table. And that's kind of took off from there. So it was me, Matt, Justin, Kyle, and Alex. Anything else to add?
I mean, no, really.
It's really Matt's brainchild, so.
It's my brainchild.
I wasn't gonna do the. I didn't start the podcast. You called me and said, "Hey, you want to do this?"
Well, I mean, I looked at it like this: so what's lucky enough is the remaining 4 of us, even the 5 of us to start of it, but the remaining 4 of us are all New York Red Bull supporters, but we're not biased in any way when it comes to the way our podcast is ran. We like to keep a completely neutral standpoint. When the Red Bull do something well, we don't sugarcoat it. If anything, we add to the dumpster fire. Overall, you really look at it, we each bring something different to the table, and that's what makes, at least I believe, something unique. You have a technical side, you have an animation side, you have a driven side, and you have a complete information side. Like, I give a shout out to Kyle all the time because Kyle could bring up any MLS stat in the last 25 years off the top of his head, things that would make my head explode. Like, how do you know that? Like, it's just like those are the things that kind of bring us all together. But it's exactly what Dre says. We're the same drinking buddies we've been now for the past 8 to 10 years. I've known some of these guys since high school. It's something that's casual to us and it doesn't feel forced. And really, I mean, we've been getting some really good positive feedback and we're growing a little bit more every day. We're episode 33, right, Dre?
33,
Yeah.
33 came out today.
33, yeah.
Yep. And no, when you really think about it, we're averaging one episode a week and we're just trying to keep the consistency going. Big shout out to you guys though, because I absolutely love Benchwarmers and you guys are one of at least my top 5 favorite podcasts to listen to.
You appreciate that plug, Marco?
I
Are
mean,
you gonna just make sure you wire the check afterwards?
honestly, I think I have to see if I shit myself one, and I just got thirsty out of the sun. I don't know why.
So yeah, we'll probably, hopefully, Marco will remember to cut out the part where we tell you guys that we're gonna wire your $3,000 later on.
Donations are accepted.
I just saw you put up, you pulled up a can, and I know you guys do basically a drinks check at the beginning of each episode. So what do you guys have? What are you guys sipping on right now?
What's the poison for today?
I mean, Dre, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go first. You guys go first. In the
All right. It's actually basically the beer of, the pod I had on Monday when we recorded. It's from a brewing company in Jersey City called 902 Brewing Company. They release this specific brew every single year, only for a couple weeks, and it's called Brady's Nightmare. Everyone who runs this brewing company is a big Giants fan, and, the New York Giants are Brady's Nightmare. It is an IPA, but it is heavy as hell. It comes in at 10% alcohol content. So like when you have one, when you have one, that's it. You're done. Just nurse it for the rest of the night, because if you put down 2, it's going to put you right to bed.
That's crazy.
And it tastes good. I mean,
10%. That's rough. I got my red Solo Cup mug, which is pretty cool, full of Heineken today.
Oh, damn it! That's what
Classic.
I would have preferred that. I'm sad because I really wanted to drink whiskey tonight, and I have nothing to mix it with. So I ran to the garage, and I found the first thing that was there. Where there was actually, I had 2 options, but I said no to one of them, which was White Claw. I was like, hell no.
That would be a very Matt beverage to have.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm good. So I went with the one thing that I hate a little less than the White Claw, which is a standard Corona. If I had to buy, I would never buy it, but I didn't buy it. So cheers up.
There you go. Hey, it's very apropos for the coronavirus. You gotta have a Corona. It's like a vaccine.
Yeah.
When a vaccine comes out.
I mean, I think their sales didn't go down because of the fact that they were called Corona.
Oh yeah.
So
First couple weeks.
Dre brought up on an episode earlier in the year, he's like, yo, I'm going to buy nothing but Corona for the next few weeks because apparently their sales are dipping because people are like, well, Corona must be connected to Corona. Like, come on, people. Like, come on.
And I was like, listen, Corona was there for you when you were having a backyard party, drinking on the beach, you need something cool in the summer. Corona was always there for you. Now we got to be there for Corona, so that week I supported Corona.
Yeah, never do that.
Because drinking beer, it's for a support system.
Exactly.
So I actually have I have a local brew. I got something local. It's the headquarters are right here in Camden, New Jersey. It's a bit of like a fusion drink. I don't want it to come off as like girly, you know what I mean? But it has some sweet notes, and I can't really describe drinks or beers as well as you guys, but I know that it originated in 1948. It's been around for quite a while. It's owned by like a big conglomerate that creates like all kinds of mixed fusion drinks, stuff like that. So it has a bit of benefits. So I have a glass of it right here. It's known as V8 Splash.
This guy. I was like, what's he talking about?
I
over
was,
here?
I was sitting on the edge, like, wait, Brewing Company Camden, wait, that long? Like,
I was like on a roller coaster ride. I'm like, all right, we're going up. What is this? Where's it? Oh,
Juice.
This was one of those times where you'd have to say you paid for your full seat, but you only need the edge. Like,
yeah. Got to get that vitamin C though.
All day, man. Antioxidants, just like that mixture. Tropical mango. It slaps. Tropical mango slaps, guys.
Perfect.
it slaps. I love it. I absolutely
so,
love it.
We're moving along. We're chugging along just like you guys have. So you've been around for a few months now, right? If I have that correct.
Yeah, I think we started in
believe
February.
The first episode came out sometime in February.
We literally started a pod, and then 2 weeks later, the world came to a stop. And like, I never wanted to post it up anywhere because I thought it would just be like
bad luck.
Not bad luck, but I was thinking, what's that meme? It's bad luck someone. What's
Brian.
Bad luck Brian. Like, I can just take his face away, put the Posts and Pints logo, be like, starts a soccer podcast, all sports stop 2 weeks later.
Were you guys ever able to record together?
We did the first 2 or 3
three?
episodes in 3 episodes in person.
Okay. About the same because I've seen everything, I've heard everything, and I'm like, I don't think they've actually ever recorded together.
Yeah.
But you have, okay.
The game plan is once someone, accepts the amount of money I want to buy on a home, eventually we'll have a headquarters to do it.
Nice.
I really never thought it would be like the most difficult part about 2020 is I have money and no one wants to take it.
We can have a full podcast on just that because I'm on the same boat as you.
Let's just go halvesies on a house.
I'll take the top, you take the bottom if you want.
There you go. Just don't tell my wife.
What's that house called for the streamers? Or like for FaZe Clan and shit. We could just do it. Man, just shove a bunch of us in like a duplex.
Isn't it like the TikTok house or the content house or some shit like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
As long as it's not like one of those like, good God, you see all those like YouTube influencers, and I use the term influencers in the worst way humanly possible. They're like, guys, remember, wear a mask, do this, and then they're at a party with 400 people in like the LA Hills, and no one's wearing a mask. It's like,
yeah,
you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. Young teenagers only watch your videos. This is gonna be fine. This is gonna be okay. This is like Jack Grealish, who literally told people, please, everyone, stay inside your house. Don't do anything. And then 2 hours after recording that video, crashed his $250,000 car on like a lamppost. Oh, come on, Jackie.
So you guys have, unfortunately, you guys have become pretty much somewhat experts or accustomed to the quarantine protocols as far as recording episodes and stuff like that. And I guess I don't want to reveal too much if you guys have some other big plans. Of course, waiting until things do get better. Thankfully, they are getting better in our state, at least here in Jersey. But what do you guys see for the future of Posts and Pints?
I'll let you take this one, Matt.
All right. So basically, a huge chunk of what we do is alcohol driven. And I know that sounds absolutely horrible, but we definitely want to also not only contribute to the soccer part of it, but we want to contribute to the alcohol side of it as well. Definitely in the upcoming future, once things are a little bit more open, we've already started the process of reaching out to different breweries and distilleries, and we'd like to actually be able to do episodes inside the brewery or inside the distillery, maybe on like more of a private point of view, not like with just people around. We'd like to interview someone within that establishment. We'd like to interview them about, how did the brewery or distillery start? What are like big hot selling things? Just things that people might not be aware of. Breweries and distilleries are some of the biggest, tourist attractions now. I happened last year to go to Seattle to go watch the Red Bull play against the Seattle Sounders, and there wasn't 1 minute outside of the game, me and the group of guys who we went to 10 or 11 different breweries and 2 or 3 distilleries in the 4 or 5 days we were there. And I just feel like, you know, if you have the opportunity to have these conversations with people, people would be more interested in trying a local craft over, you know, going for your usual Yingling, Corona, Bud Light. You know, maybe try something new. And honestly, our response back has been great. It's just basically we're waiting on, you know, the coronavirus to kind of dip a little bit and being able to actually get people, you know, 4 or 5 people together at one table to do an interview.
Awesome. That sounds like an awesome, I guess, plan for the future, especially focusing on what at least looks like a very fun and niche subgroup to reach out to people. Because obviously, like us, I'm sure you guys can talk about footy for hours on end, but doing it over a pint, doing it over a glass of something new that you're trying out is probably even more enjoyable and memorable. Dre, is there anything, I guess, that you've picked up since joining Posts and Pints as far as like the brew side of things? Have these guys actually given you uh some good suggestions, or you think that they only drink piss water? What's the deal?
It varies. So, for those of you who listen to the show, Kyle drinks PBR on 94% of episodes. Just either a 16 ounce or 12 ounce or in a cup or in a can. PBR is 90% of what he drinks. So we have that guy also. But no, in terms of the drinks, it has encouraged me to like go out and try something new. So that like, oh, cool, we're shooting today. Let me go to the store and like let me pick up something cool that I might have like a cool story behind. Or honestly, a lot of these new beers, craft beers, are really cool names. Or some of them, sometimes they're like a little bit more expensive than the normal beer. So I'm like, all right, well, at least I have a reason to like buy a 4-pack now because I'm going to be doing it for the pod and it's a cool story. Where before I'm like, $15, maybe let me get like the $9 beer instead. So it has broadened my horizons there and has given me a reason to go out and try some new cool beers.
Marco, do you think that we should probably adopt that model, or you think we'd get too drunk?
Yeah,
Because
no, we
I'm a
would go to
lightweight,
drink.
man. I don't.
If
I
if you guys
probably.
listen back to one of our earlier episodes, we interviewed the capo of Viking Army, actually one of
Viking Army,
our
yeah.
buddies, and we rambled on for 3 hours. We literally had to pause. We all got refills and came back, and by like the end, it was like a 2-part episode. By the end of the second part, like I'm sure we were slurring words, we were cursing, drunk as hell. Like it was a fun interview, fun episode. But I guarantee if you listen to by the end, it's like a hot mess.
Hand to God. After we got back from the break, cracked open a beer, took 2 sips. I don't remember the back end of the podcast.
I mean,
That's why I always try to get my question in either first or second, because I know if it's a little bit longer of an episode, I'm in trouble. Like, and I'm like, I got to nurse my way through it. But basically, we got to the second part. I think Dre started the questions on the second half of that episode, and I was just like, yep, I'm gone.
I mean, we tried it at the beginning, man. But honestly, it kind of like fell through because we were drinking a lot more throughout the week than we should have. We would drink Mondays, Thursdays, and then the weekend, and it was like because we're recording 2 episodes a week, so we're like that might be one expensive and two a little bit a little bit too much. So, yeah, we started it, but we we definitely couldn't continue it.
Yep.
I think that's pretty cool, especially considering that you guys are bonding over 2 things at the same time. But I don't want to make it too much about the brews or too much about the pints, because there's some posts that we need to speak about, and those posts are the leagues that are starting up this weekend. So I know you guys are very much avid, I would say avid Red Bulls fans, because both of you have more photos with team players and trophies and supporter shields than I have with my own family members on your Instagram accounts. Like literally, I don't have anything like that. I don't. I might have something, but I'll save that story for later. You guys, has it been something that you've done? Like, yes, you're doing a podcast now, but beforehand when you were doing it for yourselves, because I know you guys would go out. I would get sometimes the notifications that, you know, there'd be a meet and greet at so and so liquor store or whatever, which I always thought was a little odd for a location, but whatever. If you can get that, you can get that. What's your guys' experiences with meeting all of these players?
Dre, you mind if I take this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So definitely, I mean, this last year, of course, because it didn't happen, but the Red Bull every single year. You get the notifications as well. It's called Thursday Night with the Red Bulls, and it really, you know what? It is a lot of fun and extremely interesting because you see these guys on the soccer field and you look at them like, oh my God, you're a professional soccer player. What am I even supposed to talk to you about? But
Yeah.
like overall, there hasn't been one time I've met players from different teams, Red Bull. I've had the opportunity of meeting players on the U.S. men's and U.S. women's national teams. Something about just overall American culture, at least maybe on an American superstar standpoint, is every single person outside of Tim Howard is completely down to earth. Really, I mean, I've had the opportunity of having conversations with Tobin Heath, and Tobin Heath and I have had 5-minute conversations to the point where it's like you forget you're even talking to someone who is like your favorite. You've scored a goal in a World Cup. I shouldn't be able to talk to you. Like, I feel like you should be hidden behind J-Lo's security team. Like, no one should be allowed near you. There was literally one time, and Dre was with me. This is back when Sasha Kleshtin was the captain of the New York Red Bull. We went to a player signing that no one else showed up to. And Dre and I not only had a 20-minute conversation with Sasha Kleshtin, we offered him beers. Like, you want to like go down to like, we were at a pub when that's when the signing was. We literally were like, hey dude, do you want us to like buy you a beer? And he like thought about it for like a good hard minute. And then he's like, oh, there's someone from the Red Bulls right there. I really can't drink. And it's like, oh, we'll sneak it to you. No,
Asking for it in a coffee mug.
But like, it's really nice that a lot of these guys are completely down to earth and they're just overall extremely humble, that people do come out and people do, take the time. Because sometimes some of those meet and greets, like we live in central New Jersey, but some of those meet and greets are like 2 hours north.
Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. I've had conversations with people who are like, yeah, if it's not 15 minutes, I'm not going.
The thing is, we kind of make it into like almost a bit of a tradition. So whenever we did have those signings, like 3 of us or 4 of us would meet up in one spot, get in a car and go. So we would do the player signing and then we'd go to a bar right after. That was kind of like our thing. We'd go to an Irish pub or whatever, or like the nearest one to the signing.
We did that, yeah.
Did that for Luis Robles, did that for Connor Lade. I missed Tim Parker, but Matt got me an autograph anyway, so thanks for that. But yeah, all the plays we'd go see, we'd go to the signing, get the autograph, talk, chill for a few minutes, and then we'd go over to Irish pub.
Side note, Tim Parker's calves are bigger than my entire body. Like, it's absolutely
and
scary.
Yes, Connor Lade is actually that short in real life.
He's really that small.
He is, dude. He is.
There's a picture of me next to him, and I'm 5'9", and I'm like, hi, child. He's pretty small.
One of our buddies who goes to us with the signings is like 6'3", 6'4". So he stood next to Connor Lade, and it basically looks like a father-son photo. It's just like,
Damn.
you are my child. But I mean, like, I've had opportunities to have conversations. Like, one of the best conversations I've ever had is with Aaron Long. I got to meet him 1 month before he was named MLS Defender of the Year. And he is just the most humbling human being. He was just overall like, I appreciate you driving. Like, they're actually very appreciative of people making the effort to come see them. And I think that's something that really baffled me. It was just like, wow, you care I'm here? Like, I'm here for a photo, an autograph, and bragging rights. Like, but this, like, they're actually like very humbling human beings. And the only reason why I gave shit towards Mr. Howard, the Secretary of Defense, and I'll always thank him for his work. There have been like 5 or 6 videos over the last few years of him, like, kids asking for autographs and him straight up telling them to go piss off. So, like, if you can't take time for the kids, don't be a superstar.
Well, have you guys ever encountered a player, Red Bulls aside, has there ever been a player that you've met in person that you're like, wow, you're a complete jerk? This isn't who I imagined.
Felipe.
I'm ripping off all the posters I have of you off my wall.
No. Felipe was kind of nice. So I ran into him and his wife at the Portuguese Festival in Newark a couple years past. And I didn't ask for an autograph. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't ask for even his time because I could see he was doing something else. I just wanted to walk up to him, shake his hand, just be like, "Hi, I'm a Viking Army member. I just wanted to say thank you very much for everything you do, and I really appreciate it." He let me shake his hand, but the millisecond I started talking, he completely cold-shouldered me really quickly. Like, I'm talking, yeah, I don't want to talk to you. Like, get away from me. I'm like, okay, that's it. Note taken. And, people already around the MLS really don't like him.
Yikes.
So
I luckily
there's
have
a reason.
not. Yeah, I luckily have not had any bad encounters yet. So fingers crossed that keeps going.
Marco, you're like looking around as if like maybe you're trying to think of someone.
I mean, I haven't been lucky enough to be able to find anybody. Like the closest I was to getting an autograph. Well, actually, no. I do have Lloyd. Carly Lloyd's autograph and addressed to Benchwarmers for one time that she showed up at our job. But aside from that, the only one I had was I was this close from getting Harrison's autograph. One time that the NYCFC played against Rebels, and I yelled his name. He looked back and he was like, I'm not fucking with that big guy. So he walked away. I tried. I yelled his name out, and I think he saw that I was a little bit too excited. That he was like, or maybe they just can't sign autographs at a Rebel arena at the time.
Maybe.
I mean, usually, I'm sorry to cut you off, but usually when like I've heard like with protocol for at least like when you're the away, like when you're the away team in a stadium, especially like the MLS has really strict protocol where like they want you in and out so quickly, like it's not even like it. Basically, you come in, you're there for an hour or two before the game, but the second the game is over, you shower, you clean up, you're gone. Like they want you in and out. I think it's more of for a security thing. But really, like, I've seen those schedules firsthand, and it's like they track these guys by the minute, and like they really don't give the away team really the opportunity. The only reason why, even like, I was at Portland last year away, and we just bombarded the team bus. Like, it was after the game, it was a 2-0 win against Portland, and we just straight bombarded the bus to the point where the players came out of the bus to say hi to the fans.
I mean, I got close to him because his mom was sitting next to us, and because I think he scored a goal against Rebels that day. I think it's that one, the time that NYCFC won at Rebel Arena. Like I think it was like 3-1 or something like that. It was that time that they had 3 games in a row.
Sure?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's the time that Eric lost the bet and he still hasn't paid for it, fucker. Yeah, you remember that one. Yeah, I know you remember. Yeah, so his mom was sitting next to us. So he came because he came to celebrate after the game, say hi, give her a hug, and then that's when I tried to get his autograph, but he kind of just walked away.
Man, maybe he just thought you were asking him to come outside, and it wasn't going to be a friendly.
I mean, I did have an NYC jersey. It was like this big, so I mean, he should have known that I was asking for his autograph, but it's all right.
Yeah, I guess so. The MLS season is underway. Dre, I want to switch gears a little bit. For the Bundesliga, do you see Bayern taking it again?
I see this year being just as competitive as last year. Big reason being that you and Matt might be a little bit disappointed, but Jadon Sancho's staying, it seems like. So Jadon Sancho's staying. Haaland is firing on all cylinders. Dortmund still looks good, man. They still really look good. With those young players, they kept a lot of their core players. So I'm not saying Bayern's not going to win, but if there's a year for another team to make a run for it, this is it.
You had an interesting reaction there, Matt.
I give Dre all the crap in the world because and it's not for him being a Bayern fan. Like, I'm not targeting him for being a Bayern fan, but like Bayern fans and Juventus fans and PSG fans at the beginning of every season, they kind of like, they take a little bit off the pressure. They try to get a little bit of the weight off their back by like, oh, yeah, no, it's going to be a competitive year. It's definitely going to be something a little bit closer. When really they're going to walk away with it at the end like they always do.
Listen, at some point, our luck has to run out. I
Oh,
mean,
that's- and-
Juventus has the record of 9 in a row, 9 league wins in a row.
The
We have
issue-
8. So
a big
eventually
difference.
someone's luck is going to run out. It's going to happen. I don't have this false belief that we're going to go 15 years undefeated. It's not going to happen.
The one issue I have, it's not an issue, it's just more of like an ideology I have. In the Bundesliga, Bayern is at an advantage. Bayern is the team that poaches the farmers, like Farmers League players. Dortmund is a farmers style team where they grow the players and then someone else comes in and buys them. Bayern aren't that team, and that's why Dortmund, even though they get close, they don't have what it takes to beat Bayern. And it's the same thing for the French league and PSG, and the same thing for Juventus and the Italian league. It's very different.
That seems like a very hard reality check you have to deal with every week, huh, Andre?
If you look at, I've been part of, Bundesliga, like chat groups and forums and Reddits and all that kind of stuff. If you look at the actual transfer data year by year, Dortmund buys more players from other German clubs than Bayern does. So if you talk about best German players, all that kind of stuff, Dortmund is the one buying more German players or more players from within the Bundesliga than Bayern is. Bayern does a little bit more business outside of the Bundesliga, but when it comes to buying players from other Bundesliga teams, Dortmund beats Bayern in that category.
Wise man.
And talk about how many players went from Bayern back to Dortmund, because that's happened a bunch too.
Yeah, of course, because Bayern doesn't need them anymore because they're old and useless, and then
You're
Dortmund
saying we
takes
didn't need
them.
Hummels? We kept Boateng and gave away Hummels. What kind of business is that? We gave away the better center back and kept the crappier one.
And on your previous statement before, I'm sorry, guys. Like, Dre, this is just things that Dre and I talk about. It's quality, not quantity. I don't care if Dortmund buys all the German players. Good, buy all the German players. Bayern still have the better German players, and they have the better Dutch players and the better, Austrian players.
Well, now it's French. Now we had a Spanish contingent. Now we have like half of the World Cup winning squad.
Yeah, and it's going to be and guys, they have half the World Cup winning squad, and trust me, Dortmund's going to win the league this year. Yeah,
I didn't say that. I did not say that. Anyway, carry on.
I mean, still, it's interesting to know, like at least where your head's at the beginning of the season, because especially like you mentioned correctly, they are chasing what could be a joint record for most consecutive titles won. And it is, I would say it is taken with a fair bit of skepticism to say, at some point our luck's running out, but other teams I would like to say are catching up. Speaking of which, catching up, I do know that you are a United fan as well, Matt, and you've posted quite a bit about it. Not to make it about United, what do you think is going to be the result for this new 2020-21 season?
Are you talking about just the Premier League or just Manchester United?
Just the Premier League.
All right. At least along the lines of the Premier League, big shout right now, Leeds United will finish in the top 10. That's not even a question. They're going to be this year's Sheffield. I want to pull for Fulham so hard because, especially with me, when I first got into the EPL, that's when Clint Dempsey was, at Fulham.
Yeah, they're like the gateway drug. Yeah,
exactly. That's the Disturbed of metal music. Like, you listen to Disturbed and then you listen to other heavier stuff, and you're you always remember what Disturbed was. Overall, I do believe, just because City seemed to be a lot more aggressive in the transfer window, and I don't know. I just the lack of, I'm not saying care, but I've seen Manchester United do this in years past where they had a decent year and then the board doesn't back them on any moves because it's well, no, you guys won last year. We don't need to increase the lineup and, we don't need to bring anyone else in. But the problem you have is, and a lot of ex-players have always said this, you need to interject new talent to keep everyone else on their toes. Liverpool right now did not finish last year on a really great note, crashed out of Champions League, really just looks sluggish. And I get it. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm really not. I'm a United fan, and I'm the first person to say congratulations to Liverpool on their title. But they did not finish that season well at all. There really wasn't any, eagerness to want to really run for that 100-point season. I think City have a little bit of that hunger, and if they can stay healthy, De Bruyne was out for a good chunk of games. Laporte was out for a great chunk of games. They're already interested in a lot more signings, and City, as always, continue to, say, screw financial fair play. We're going to go buy everyone because we don't care. If they're going to continue to bring in new talent and already surround a completely loaded squad, I think City will. I think it'll be closer than people think. I don't think it'll be the runaway season it was this year, but I really do have City finishing number 1. But on the hottest of hot takes, I have Chelsea finishing second.
Second?
Yes, I think.
Crazy.
I think Chelsea will finish second. I think I think City will push away a little bit towards the end, kind of like what Bayern did this year against Dortmund, but Big Frank showed last year that he can win big, crucial games with nothing but kids. This year, he has one of the most loaded lineups in all of Europe. Now, I'm not expecting them to be really big right out of the gate because it is going to take some time for these guys to gel. But overall, they have this great young core of role players now with the superstars attached to it. I really think Chelsea can push themselves down the line, and I think that they can get past Liverpool this upcoming year, and I believe that they could actually finish second this year. And I think my top 4 rounds out I have City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and I have Manchester United coming in 4th because I still think that there's enough in that United squad. They're going to be bringing up a couple younger guys from the youth academy who can fill in those roles, and United aren't done in the transfer window, not by a long shot. United does all of their business in the last 2 weeks, unfortunately, and I believe they'll bring in the pieces they need to bring in to push for that number 4 spot.
That's taking over Arsenal
I like
territory.
how I think it's just Matt's demeanor that just like makes saying things like Chelsea coming in second as like plausible. Like I don't know if it's maybe like his tone of voice or
I think it's a
just,
mustache.
like, the vernacular he uses. Like it just makes something completely ridiculous sound actually possible.
I think it's the stacked lineup of Bundesliga players, but that's just me. Just gonna put that out there.
So would you say that Chelsea bought all these players from a Farmers League, Dre?
No, they found talent, and they knew where the talent was because the talent was in Germany.
Yeah. Oh. So you're telling me, hold on. So definition of Farmers League is a league where they grow young players to be bought by someone else. Are you telling me the league that raised all these young players and then bought by a London side, would that not make the German league a Farmers League?
Who is the champion of Europe this year? Is it an EPL team? Spanish team? Is it a French team?
I think he's been waiting for like 6 years to be able to say that.
You got to point to the stars, Dre. You got to point to the stars.
I got to add one. I got to add another one onto here now. Got to get the next jersey.
If you ever want to know what Dre and I talk about, like my wife all the time is like, "Are you still texting Dre?" And I'm like, "Yeah." What do you guys talk about all day? We talk about soccer.
Yeah, man, all the time. I bet. And you know what? I guess just to give a bit of a gloss over to what you said about Chelsea and Marco, I want to know what you think too. Actually, yes, it is the hottest of hot takes. Chelsea second, but I really feel like it could be the perfect storm where Lampard is just going to have too many toys and he's not going to know how to get the most out of all the tools he has available in his toolbox.
No, actually, to add on to that though, because there was another podcast I was listening to about like coaches on the hot seat. Frank Lampard is on the hottest seat in Europe because he was given a gimme year, basically a whammy. Whatever happens, happens. You're going to be the coach next year. There was no transfer window, XYZ. But now I could never pronounce the Chelsea's owner's name. But overall, he's given
Abramovich.
There you go. He's given him the world. He's literally answered. If they go out and get a goalie, Frank Lampard cannot complain on any standpoint that he was not completely backed this year. So if they're not competing for at least, like I said, I don't think they're going to win it, but they need to be in the race towards the end of the season. Otherwise, He's going to turn around and be like, hey, Big Frank, sorry, it doesn't seem like you're, up to the job. And they're going to go get someone who has a little bit more experience.
I don't think that's the case,
Marco's
man.
got that face, man. What do you think,
I
Marco?
agree with what you say. He is in the hot seat, and that is for sure. Because he got, last year didn't really count, even though he did end up in the top 4. But I still, because it's Frank Lampard, I still don't think he would be in the hot seat even if he wasn't a contender to first place. I think he'll still, even if, let's say, he ends up in 3rd or 4th this year again, and gets in a good position in Champions League, let's say, round of 16, quarter, semis maybe, I think they'll still give him an extra year just for that. And a couple boom bucks. I don't think it's just one and done. Like, oh, you got one free one, a freebie, and then the next year you need to win it up. No, I don't think they'll do it with him specifically.
And I 100% agree with you, to the point. Ollie Gunnar and Big Frank are both on the hot seat on this one point alone. Big Frank has been backed. If Ollie gets backed with maybe 2, maybe 3 more signings, United's usually good for 3. Oh my God, 3 signings.
The beer, it's 10%.
10%.
Mark already knows.
God bless America. No, Dre baffled my mind. Apparently, when you go to Germany, it's not beer unless it's only 4 ingredients, and that blew my mind. So, but Ollie Gunnar and Big Frank, again, they're not supposed to win the league this year. No one thinks Chelsea or Man United's going to win the year.
Of course, they're not supposed to.
But they need to close that gap. There were 33 points or something in between Chelsea and Man United and Liverpool. They're not meant to win the league this year, but they got to close that gap. Whether it's a regression from the top or you get, more results from the bottom, you need to be better. United last year finished with 66 points and finished in 5th. This year they finished with 66 points and finished in 3rd. There needs to be some form of a going up, not winning. You don't need to win the league. No one's expecting these two to win the league, but there needs to be at least hey, we're going in the right direction here. And I think that's the biggest thing for Chelsea and Man United is if it doesn't look like they're going in the right direction, I think these are both ownership teams that have been very willing to just, okay, coach isn't working. We'll see you later. Have a great day and bring in someone that they want.
I think those are fair points, and I guess maybe shifting a little bit from what's expected, or at least what isn't expected, which is these two teams winning the league. Something that might be expected, or I guess the norm would be, would you both agree that the probability of Juventus and PSG winning their respective leagues is possible again this coming season?
Dre, I'll have you go first.
You're not going to bet against them. You'd be stupid to. Even as a Bundesliga supporter, I wouldn't bet against Bayern because it's the safe, smart bet every time. If they don't win, then that's kind of the upset, not the other way around. So I don't think there's anyone out there who's going to, bet against Juventus, PSG, or Bayern winning.
I wouldn't bet against Bayern. I wouldn't bet against PSG. But if Inter can bring in 1 or 2 signings like they want, it's clear that Juventus, it's a brand new coach who's never coached before. Again, Andre Pirlo, one of the greatest minds in football. I'm not taking anything away from him.
We just take away that 2-year gap where he was in MLS. We don't talk about that.
Dude, he was just collecting a paycheck and he wanted to see what Times Square looked like.
There's
That's
a 2-year
all
gap
it is.
In his life. That's it. It's like amnesia.
You wish.
It's just amnesia.
Andre Pirlo just wanted to see what Times Square looked like, and he wanted to collect a paycheck from
Get a postcard.
Yankees. Okay, that's oh my God, get a postcard.
You're just mad didn't go to Ribbles.
I wouldn't want him.
That's what you say now.
We had Terry Henry. We had
Dax.
We
had Dax McCarty.
And as much as I love Thierry Henry, you still didn't do anything with him.
Yeah.
We had the Ginger Prince. We need Pirlo, man. Come on.
That my favorite photo, and it's somewhere on either this laptop or my other laptop, but it's a picture of Andre Pirlo knocked on his ass with Dax McCarty screaming at him because he's like.
Go ahead.
Guys, there's just literally a picture because Andre Pirlo was complaining to the ref, and apparently the words said from Dax McCarty, again, never quoted, I could be 100% wrong, but the rumors are on the field that Dax McCarty said, "Welcome to the MLS." And I'm just sitting here like, if that was the actual line, that's the greatest throw of shade in soccer history. A guy who's won a World Cup is getting put on his ass by a guy who can't make the U.S. men's national team.
I'm more partial to the picture of Kamar Lawrence screaming at baby Josef Martinez.
Oh.
We were at that game. That was a good time.
Oh yeah, he cradled the baby.
It was great. It was great.
Back to the other topic. I believe if Inter can bring in a couple additional signings, Conte was backed by the board. I think they're going to bring in 1 or 2 signings. If Juventus doesn't kind of fill some gaps that seem to be growing over the last couple years, I mean, yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's going to get his goals, he's going to get his penalties. You know, that back line every single day keeps getting older and older and older and older. And even though De Ligt is a really great interjection into that lineup, he was injured. Like, he played, and I'll give him credit, he played, but he was hurt all year, and I don't know what he's going to look like in the upcoming year. Gigi Buffon is still there, and I understand he doesn't start, but I hear that the fans still call his name like they want him to start. So the current goalie, Szczesny, is he really backed by the fans? I feel like there's just a lot of controversy going on right now, and they also have a bunch of dead weight on the bench. They're paying Aaron Ramsey like $250,000 a week to just sit on the bench. Yep. Like, I feel like they're missing gaps in a lot of places, and like last year, their age truly started to show. And I think Romelu Lukaku is going to blow up this year. I think Romelu Lukaku just needed a taste of
blew up last year.
No, I think he's no, like the year that, and again, another hot take. I think the year that Lewandowski had this year, Lukaku may have next year in the Italian league. Oof. I think he's going to go
a tall order.
Off. I think he's going to go off on a tear. He just needed to figure out what Serie A was like, and now he's just going to go right in. Hot take: Inter defeat Juventus and take the league this year.
I think Diego wants to kill you right now. I'm just saying.
Listen, man, I have a lot of people say that we should have an agenda against Lukaku, and I am one of those people that definitely has an agenda.
You do,
Lukaku,
yeah. I was about to say you do,
because that man is a fraud and a stat pattern. Let me tell you, that man is actually the one thing he was looking at this season, and I agree with you, is that he was figuring out, which of these teams can I take to Pound Town next season because they're just so garbage at defending a big dude like me, and that's what I'm saying. All of his, what was it? I think it was 24, 25 out of his goals. It was close to about 75% of them came from teams that were in the bottom half. And hold on. And when it mattered most, out of the 6 games that he played against the top 4, he scored in 1 of them in a loss to Napoli. Like, he is not available for the big games, and I think that's one of his biggest crutches. He can bang in all the goals he wants. I have the same attitude with Messi, because that's what they were saying about Messi this past season that just went by. A lot of his goals came against lower half opposition. Where was he against the bigger teams? We have Real Madrid taking the title as proof of that he went missing for these bigger matches. So Lukaku, he can go off as many times as they want. I honestly, to me, it wouldn't matter unless, like you say, and your hot take, not mine, unless Inter do happen to steal the Serie A title this season. But mentioning Messi, mentioning La Liga, each of you, just a very simple question. And yes, I don't want to be, I guess, like biased or unjust to the rest of the teams because everyone has a fair shot at the beginning of the season. Boiling it down, though, to Barcelona and Real Madrid, which team would each of you vote for to take the title for this upcoming season?
It's hard for me to pick because, everyone likes to have the Messi Ronaldo conversation, which for years was also in, toe-to-toe with the Barcelona Real conversation. And I've always actually liked Messi in Barcelona a little bit better. I think he's just a bit more of a dynamic player, maybe not as a prolific goal scorer as Ronaldo, but when that ball's on Messi's foot, like anything can happen. So I like Messi, although, the whole saga with, Bayern whipped their ass 8-2, and that kind of gave him a reality check. And the team is pretty much in shambles.
You hate to
They're
see it.
cutting dead weight. You know, Luis Suarez is out. Vidal's been told to find a new team. Messi was almost out. Ivan Rakitic is back to Sevilla. So they're really seeming to get rid of lots of players. That being said, Messi, it looks like, is still staying this one more year since he didn't want to take Barcelona to court, which you got to give him mad respect for that. He loves the city and the club so much that the only way for him to get the transfer he wanted was to take the team to court. And he's like, no, I'll just screw it. Fuck it. I'll wait out the other year and then I'll go get, then I'll leave on a free or whatever. But they still have Ansu Fati. I just watched Spain play against Ukraine, which I get it. It's Ukraine, but Ukraine's been playing so well enough where they got to UEFA, whatever, Nations Group A, like the first seeded group. They were in there with Spain, Germany, and Switzerland. So Ukraine has been playing super well to get to that spot. They beat Portugal with Ronaldo at home in Kiev. So in that game, Spain beat Ukraine 4-0, and 2 goals came from Ansu Fati. So he's kind of coming into his own, with Barcelona, playing with the Spanish national team. So maybe that's one of the younger players they could look more towards. Honestly, it just depends on a lot of the dead weight they cut and who they bring in to fill those gaps in could make the difference. That being said, maybe 1 year is not enough, so I would not be surprised if Real took it this year, but I want Barca to take it.
So your vote eventually is going to be for.
Realistically, I think Real's going to win it.
All right, I like that. I like that conviction. Matt, Barca, Real Madrid. What's your
Real.
pick?
This isn't even close. You could see what happened in the Premier League this last year happen in La Liga in the upcoming year, and Real Madrid might take this by 20-something points. I mean, Real Madrid did what Barcelona did not do. When Ronaldo was getting older, Real Madrid built a plan for the near future and the way future, like way down the road, 5, 10, 8 years down the road. Barcelona just sat there, and doesn't matter what podcast you listen to, what news source you listen to. Barcelona has been sitting on their ass, just watching Messi going, it's okay, we have Messi. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to be okay. And now Messi's like, yeah, I don't care what you say. You saw, everyone on earth saw the interview he did with Goal.com. And yeah, he's here for 1 more year, but how much of Messi do you really think you're going to get? Messi's just going to stay healthy. That's it. Messi has been advised by his father, who's his agent, and all of his representatives. And I get it, you're not supposed to, but he's already called Manchester City, and he's already gotten them on the phone. And Manchester City is already like, hey, dude, the deal's in place. Stay healthy. The millisecond you can, we'll get you on that deal. He's just going to stay healthy. He's not going to risk his career. He's not going to go in on 50-50 balls. He's not going to do anything he has to. He's Lionel Messi. He doesn't have to do anything. His name already speaks volumes.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Real Madrid have not only built themselves for the now, but they've built themselves for the future as well. They're interjecting youth every single day. Zidane is one of the greatest football minds in history. Today alone, an hour before this podcast, the only thing that I would have said is the one concern is Gareth Bale's morale. There's rumors that Real Madrid will accept 50% of his paycheck if he goes somewhere else. So that's saying that Gareth Bale could be leaving, and that's the only distraction Real Madrid have right now. That team is built of winners and people who want to win. And as long as Sergio Ramos is the captain of Real Madrid, that team is going to win and continue winning because he is a winner. I really think if he played in the game against Manchester City in the second leg, it would have been a different result. And I'm all about the hot takes. I think Atletico Madrid will finish higher than Barcelona this year.
Damn, my man is pulling them all out, man.
I don't get to talk about this on my own podcast. We just talk MLS. I sit on my ass all the time and just go, man, I really wish I had someone to talk to this about.
Dude, this is why we have you on, man. This is your escape. This is both of your, temporary escapes from the norm. But I like that. I like the optimism. I like the I guess, the objectivity as far as seeing what one team has done and what one team has not done. The clubs and the organizations aside, we all know, and it's very much, I guess, public knowledge that a lot of that team on Barcelona is an aging squad, players that are near or already over their 30s, and that's becoming a very big issue. But I don't want to get into that too much. I just wanted to get you kind of gauge what you guys thought was in for the future now that football is going to start back up again after basically it finished a few weeks ago. And that really, I guess that kind of concludes a lot of what we're talking about for the posts. Just a few things I want to poke your minds about before we wrap up here, guys. It's been awesome chatting with you and getting your hot takes and listening to Dre defend his non-farmers league and getting a bit of that interaction between you guys. So one of the things I do want to ask first is, what is DST? I heard that was a thing on your guys' podcast. I think it's called Dre Standard Time. I'm not.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Matt was like really confused, like, what the hell's DST?
I'm sitting here like, what feature is that? I was literally about to like text Dre really quick, like, what the hell is he talking about?
I'm gonna let Matt take this one.
So Dre Standard Time is, so Dre is someone who you have to remind him about 45 times that he has to do something that day. You know, hey, we have a meeting. Hey, everyone's in person. You know, hey, we gotta meet up and stuff like that. Oh, okay, cool. You gotta text him 45 times. And Dre with, I don't know if anyone, him and Marco work together. I don't know if I should be saying this, but Dre wakes up casually at like noon, and and
Don't worry,
Dre will-
I do exactly the same thing.
And Dre will sometimes, forget, like, hey, I have something to do at 2 o'clock. Hey, I forgot I have something to do at 8 o'clock. And you have to remind him. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I'll definitely be there at 2 o'clock. And then you'll get a text at 2:05 saying, okay, I'm leaving. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I'm sitting here like, okay, good thing. So basically, we've all come to a conclusion, not just our podcast, but Dre and I's group of friends is, anytime something has to be planned, just tell Dre it's 45 minutes before that. So don't put him in the group chat. Just be like, hey, Dre, be at my house at 2:15. Why do you want me to be at your house at 2:15? Oh, just be at my house at 2:15. But the event starts at 3.
I'll be there at 3:15. No, that's... I like to be fashionably late. What can I say?
I mean, if you ask any Spanish household, that is just standard.
Yeah.
We're just known to be late. So for us, that just means that Andrew's on time.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Marco.
You see, Marco and Dre have this thing, man, that probably Matt and I don't know. It's like they have some sort of brotherhood, man. They're just like, I think one of them pressed the panic button underneath their desk just to alert the other guy. Like the little light went off. Like, yo, come on, you gotta back me up here, my man.
He sent me a text while Matt was going through his rant.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, Dre has broken the snooze button on his alarm clock because he just he is just.
It gets a workout.
He had to get a new iPhone because his old home button broke because he kept hitting snooze.
Well, I had that phone for like 5 years. But yeah.
So Dre, another thing, and I do want to say and put it on the podcast because it's a very important thing. It's a milestone that a lot of people look forward to. But I know you just got engaged on the 22nd of August, so congratulations to you. I want to give a little clap.
Appreciate it.
So if you'd like to delve a little bit into that, tell us like how you felt, what went on that day, a little bit about I guess your day to day, what was I guess the memory of August 22nd.
Oh, it was a great day. So my girlfriend and I, or fiance now, have been going out for close to 4 years. It'll be 4 years in October.
Nice.
And we both love outdoors, hiking, nature, all that kind of stuff. So we went up to this one spot in upstate New York called Breakneck Ridge. Went for a hike. It's basically like rock climbing almost for the first like hour of the hike. Super nice views. You get the Hudson River. You get the other side of the river. There's like a nice overlook and whatnot. So we went for a hike over there. we get to the top, and there's like this just nice private area because most people stop at like the lower overlook. That's where the best view is. But if you keep hiking up another 40 minutes, you get to kind of the actual top, but it's not as nice of a view, so not many people go there. So we had some privacy. We were there hanging out, just like pull out a blanket, and relax for 20 minutes, and then proposed to her up there. So it was a very, very nice scenic moment, and it was super cool. And thankfully, after collecting herself, she said yes.
I'm glad she did end up saying yes.
Yeah.
So, you said you've been together for 4 years.
It'll be 4 years in October.
4 years in October.
Yeah.
Is she someone? I guess. Just to wrap up that quickly, is she someone that shares, I guess, maybe one of your passions for either football or?
No, not for soccer. She does not share any passion for soccer at all. She shares my passion for like outdoors and nature and camping, hiking, all that kind of stuff. She's super into that. Very environmentalist, and she's a biology teacher, so we share that passion. She is not a fan of football, not a fan of soccer, never watches a game with me. I did get her once to go on a away bus trip, so that was cool. She did come to a Red Bull game once, but other than that, man, not a huge soccer fan.
I mean, that's all right. Everyone has their own strengths, and you definitely want to play to those. Matt, on the other hand, though, you have a very special day today, I hope, that maybe you'd remember, because today, actually, very coincidentally, September 9th, is the 2-year anniversary of your engagement. You were your girlfriend on September 9th, 2018. So it's been quite a ride, and I'm sure that you probably planned things out a little differently, like you were telling us in the beginning. You were married, though. You had a small little ceremony on the 12th of June. So if you want to tell us a bit about that, the reason why I'm asking you guys is because, aside from the podcast, you guys still lead your own lives. And I think it's pretty cool that you found someone that you can share your day-to-day with. And as soccer is your everyday, so are now these two lovely human beings. So for you, Matt, did you actually forget, or are you just playing coy?
Guys, I'm going to have to bounce off the podcast. I got to go get flowers. No. No, really, it was. I saw it pop up on Facebook, and my wife and I, because she is as well a school teacher, she now having to actually go back in. Her school system is actually making the teachers go in and do the online video chat from the actual school. So she's actually had to go in, and her school's a little bit of a drive. So her and I wake up at the same time. And funny enough, as we both wake up, we both get the thing on our phone that says it was the 2-year anniversary. And we kind of laughed for 2 seconds. And then we're like, yeah, that was fun. Okay, bye. We're married. Who cares? 2 years ago. Wow. Dre, it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Dre was there. We had a small little party after, so Dre was
Nice.
there as well. To piggyback on Dre's story, Dre texted me at 11 o'clock at night the day he proposed to his girlfriend, but didn't tell me that he proposed to her. So he's just texting me hey, dude, I need to call you. And I'm sitting here it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm thinking someone's hurt or dead. And I'm like, what's going on? He calls me and he's like, hey, dude, we just got engaged. I'm sitting here God, thank God no one's hurt. And I'm like, oh, yeah, hey, congratulations. Great job, dude. Awesome.
I literally think I called him as he was going to sleep. He answered the phone. He's like, Trey, what's up? I'm like, we got engaged. He's like, oh, cool. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, but on June 12th, I was lucky enough to marry my best friend. Absolutely the opposite of what I am. For how quirky and stupid I am, she is completely smart and completely straightforward, while I'm a little bit more on a loop. No, she's wonderful. She's great. Completely Portuguese. I actually had the opportunity to go to Portugal with her a few years ago and learn about her culture, so that was a lot of fun.
Fantastic.
We've been married now a couple months, and I don't run for the hills yet, so I guess that would be a thumbs up. Yeah, every one of my married friends is like, oh, you'll hit the wall. To piggyback on the soccer question, she absolutely, even though she's Portuguese, she'll watch some soccer. She'll watch it with me, but she won't dive in. She's slowly starting to learn the ins and outs the way I know the ins and outs just by being next to me all the time. Pretty straightforward and clear. I'm a Manchester United fan since the day I can remember, and the day Bruno Fernandes came to Manchester United, she goes, the day he signed, she's just like, he's chop. He's going to do really good things for you. And I'm just sitting here like, well, how do you know? He's Portuguese. They work very hard. Lo and behold, Bruno Fernandes is the second coming of Jesus for Manchester United. And if all cards go accordingly, I got a deal. Me and her are the only ones to talk about it, so I'll talk with you guys because I don't care. I'm excited about it. If Manchester United win a league title before we have a child, and that child is a boy, I'm going to name him Bruno. So let's all pray Man United squeeze one out in the next week.
Wow, man, that's brave. That's pretty sweet. I guess there's more than meets the eye, because I gotta say, at least what many may take as a first impression, Matt, Andrew, we've had the pleasure of having on our show a few times already, like he mentioned, but Matt being a first timer, I would say it's looks can be a little bit deceiving because with the mustache and like the glasses, the dimples, the soft spoken voice and all that stuff, my man is looking like poster boy for just all goodiness. But you mentioned metal earlier, and I know you do a bit of bass playing and stuff like that.
This guy did his research.
His homeboy did his homework.
So
Sean Evans has nothing on Diego.
There are a few. I know you have a few tattoos too. I wouldn't have guessed that you had tattoos just based off of like the top portion of your head. Like it just doesn't say.
He's not like a Post Malone type guy.
Yeah.
Face cheek tattoo incoming.
A forehead tattoo. I hope not. I hope that's not a deal you made with your wife too, man. That like you get a forehead tattoo if United win a league title or something like that. But I know those were probably your early years. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, no. I have been playing music, so I was actually in and out of bands for about what would you say, Dre? A decade? Like
yeah, it's about right.
It was about a decade in and out. Never did anything really serious with it. I was in like 4 or 5 bands over like a 10-year period. We would play a couple out-of-state shows, a lot of in-state shows. Shout out to Champs in Trenton. That place is literally being held together by duct tape and band stickers. Really just a great place if you want to go take the wife and kids. Please don't do that. No, seriously, like Dre has to have a picture somewhere of Champs in Trenton, and good God, that place is just, I love it.
It's our little shithole, but
I would never take my wife there. Let's go with that. If I ever took her there, she might divorce me. But overall, yeah, I absolutely love it. Dre and I on like our group of friends, everyone has a connection in one way, shape, or form, but Dre and Kyle in particular, it's our styles of music that really connect us because we all listen to
before we ever even talk soccer.
Yeah, before we even talk soccer, we all listen to the same style of music. We all drink beer and we all watch soccer. So like we have that connection. But yeah, no, Dre and I listen to stuff that you wouldn't show your parents. Dre, how would you describe our music?
It's heavy metal. Everyone knows what that is. They just don't like it. But it is what it is, man.
It's the music that certain Christian folks say if you play backwards, you hear the devil talking to you.
Some say if you play it forwards, you hear the devil talking to you.
Tell you right now, no one's ever interviewed at least me this in depth. So hats off to you. I didn't even.
I'm telling you, man. Sean Evans has nothing on Diego.
And then the tattoos. The tattoos are ever growing. It's been a couple years since I've had one because my fiance, now my wife, we're like really like penny pinching because we are trying to get a home. Someone sell me their house, please do it. Trust me, I have money. Do it. But that's basically it. But there's a lot of work upcoming. I actually already have both of my arm sleeves drawn up by 2 separate artists. They physically have it saved on their computer. I just physically have to go in and pay them and sit down and get tattooed. So those are the next works in progress, but one life goal at a time.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have now this is something that I don't know, maybe you can enlighten us. Do you have any football related tattoos?
Unfortunately, I have not only the Manchester United crest on the back of my left calf, I have the EFL Cup, Premier League title, Champions League trophy. Let's see, is that the
Europa.
FA? Is
God
that the FA Cup?
damn.
Yeah, the FA Cup and the Europa League trophy all on the back of my left leg, and it's half finished because the guy who was tattooing me, me and him kind of don't talk anymore, and
That's a story
his
for
shop,
another podcast.
Yeah.
but his shop closed. The
Oh,
long story
okay.
short is his shop closed, and that's around the time when I was really starting to save. The United crest is finished. All the trophies are just basically the outline, and like eventually I'll get them filled in with something, but who knows? Eventually I'd like to get the front of my that leg tattooed with like some Red Bull stuff, but to be determined, and I'll let you guys know and I'll send you photos.
That's awesome. I think that's pretty sweet, man. I mean, I know it's unfinished, but I thought that was pretty cool because, like I said, like the outer impression definitely doesn't say anything or scream anything regarding heavy metal and tattoos. So it's very much. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the movie The Informant with I think it was Matt Damon that did it, but I definitely get some informant vibes where it's like he's pretending to be someone else, like very gentle, kind-hearted dude, and then it turns out that he's something completely wildly different.
No, I mean, but overall, I mean that's just how I've always been. I was
I think that's pretty
I was always raised to treat my fellow human being with nothing but kindness, but I was also, at a young age treated like just told to like it doesn't matter what an outer shell they might carry, whether it's completely like I'm best friends with people with face tattoos and gauges the size of your arm, but they're the nicest, sweetest human beings on earth who will walk an
Awesome.
old lady across the street, and that's how you need to walk. Like if more people in life treated everyone with the kindness that we should be, I mean, don't even get me started.
That's listen. I think that's awesome. Especially having that life view. I think it's pretty sweet that you have someone like that at Posts and Pints, and that probably the five of you, now the four of you, do share the same ideals, and that's why we think that you're a great bunch of guys that bring the MLS to everyone's ears. I do want to give a chance for you guys to put a little plug before we end the episode because I don't want to run too over time. So if either of you want to take that and you want to plug in where people can find you, now is the proper time.
I think I will attempt this time. Let's see if I get all this right. We have almost all of our social media. I'm pretty sure all of our social medias are at Posts and Pints. That's Instagram and Twitter. We have a YouTube account as well that I upload lots of stuff onto. So that is just on YouTube, search Posts and Pints Podcast. And I do believe that we now have a Patreon account that we created. So you can definitely check that out as well. Just on Patreon, search Post and Pints Podcast. And am I missing anything, Matt?
Nope, you're good. Side note, if you sign up for our Patreon, I will ship you a sticker and a coaster and a pocket full of dreams.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
I will name my next child after you if you.
After Bruno, then it'd be the next one.
Well, no, hold on.
It's Bruno and then.
Time out. If I have a second child and Donnie Vanderbeek turns into anything special.
Well, the good thing about kids is that you don't only have to give them one name.
Yeah, you could go the Brazilian style and have Bruno Vanderbeek.
Well, so I asked my wife that. I'm like, why don't we do a Nani thing? And she's like, well, what do you mean a Nani thing? I brought up Nani's full name, and it's like 8 names, and she's just like, yeah, that's not a normal Portuguese thing. And I'm like, well, he is Portuguese, so maybe we try it out. Who knows?
Nobody has to know.
No one has to know. We could just call him like one name.
Can you imagine the initials of his first 2 names?
Yeah.
That was always what baffled me. That was like, it was a FIFA career mode, and you click on Nani, you click player info, and his name doesn't show up. It's just like 8 or 9 different names. And I'm just sitting here like, that doesn't sound right.
And he went with Nani.
Yeah, just 90. So just to be clear, it was a joke. You will not have a child named after you if you do join the Posts and Pints Patreon, but you do get some cool, awesome exclusives, including a sticker and a coaster.
Which, guys, let someone give me a shipping address. I'll ship you guys some.
You can give it to Andrew, and you can just give it to me.
That's very true.
Okay. Well,
I'm still waiting for mine because he gave me coasters or whatever the business cards.
The business cards that look like stickers.
They look like. I'm
aren't.
excited. Like, can I get some of those? And he's like, yeah, they're business cards. I'm like, oh.
No, you guys give us a number and we'll we
Just
can
give
do
me a
that.
bunch. I'll give it to Marco and see.
Well, what's a
Nice.
bunch? Well, what's a bunch?
50, 100, just something simple.
Okay, cool. That means
Round number.
I'm
Easy
gonna have
round
to
number.
I'm gonna have to order some more stuff.
I just put them all over the place. Wherever I walk by, I just like, here you go.
The one thing
Posts
that's
and
gonna-
Pints and Benchwarmers right next to each
Yeah.
other. Like,
That's it. Just we both have
Marco-
we'll make it work.
But before we sign off, Marco, we do want to do our usual sign off and do a little bit of last minute at the end housekeeping
know, right?
and remind everybody where they can find us and listen to us. If you want to start.
yeah, they can listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher by searching Benchwarmers FC.
And you can also find us on social media platforms such as Instagram by searching Benchwarmers FC1, as well as Twitter and Facebook. You can also write to us by emailing benched@benchwarmersfc.com. And Marco, they can also watch us on
YouTube at Benchwarmers FC TV.
That's awesome. That was so smooth. I love the flow, Marco.
It's been 2 years.
Always ready.
I'm telling
We
you-
got it down.
After listening to you guys for as long as I have to see it live, it's like magical.
You should be thankful that last week I actually got tongue tied because I did it backwards and it just messed me up completely.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, nothing like you hear it and you see it on TV and it's all great and all. And then you see Alex Morgan put in a brace live and you're sitting here like, God damn, it's magical.
Hey, Dre, Matt, thank you very much. We appreciate you having some time carved out of your day to talk with us, to talk with our listeners so that we can let them know that there's still even more guys out there that share the same passion for soccer. And hopefully even those that enjoy your brewery suggestions, we really hope that endeavor actually works out. And for both of us, actually, hopefully with COVID lockdown coming down and things being more accessible, maybe we can even meet up, do a few challenges between each other. That's something that we're having in the works that we're thinking about too. So I hope you guys, even though you may not be as athletic, I guess, or maybe athletically inclined, we can probably find something to put a challenge between us both.
There is definitely a tech ball table waiting for you guys to come and try it out.
All right, done. A few beers and I'm down for anything.
That's a given.
It's kind of like dancing, like straight up. Like I refuse to dance, but if you put a nice couple red sangrias in my hand, that's it. It's over, bro.
Thanks again, guys. We're the Benchwarmers. This is the Bench with a Voice, where the bench is always warm. Peace.